If there are any horses out there listening,
listening.
Totally no disrespect, 100% respect.
Your face is supposed to be that long.
Yeah, and it's great. We celebrate that here on WayTooBroad.
Horse face.
Yeah, you're really just a gorgeous stallion.
You're hot.
Hello and welcome to WayTooBroad, a show and tell program for really, really ridiculously excited grown-ups. I'm Hannah, and my co-hosts are Ben and Aaron. Hi, Ben. First this week.
I thought it was last this week.
No, I said your name first.
Oh.
This is why you don't say Ben's name first.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Aaron.
Hey,
you
that was
really
the first
threw
and
me
last.
off. You really threw me off
Yeah.
by saying me
Ben
first.
was like, wait a second. Hey, I'm not first this week, and also I just went second. Who is first this week?
I'm first this week.
What are you drinking? You there, bud?
Oh, okay.
You there, bud, Airbud?
That's me. So I'm drinking another Bantam limited release cider.
Ooh, that looks promising.
Bantam.
It is good. It's called... Yeah. Correct.
What was that, though?
Excuse
Wow, not that. What was the other thing?
me. It's called Papi Chulo.
Puppy.
It's
Papi,
a cider with maple
Papi,
syrup.
Bantam.
Oh my god.
Drop
It's
that
like-
beat.
Here is the thing that's happening. Every time that Ben starts whispering, it's coincidentally aligning with me having to burp. And it's making me feel like Ben's whispering is making me burp.
Oh,
Wow.
cause and effect.
Yeah, that's I love that. Why does that sound so
I love
great?
that.
What?
Causing a fucking fact.
Cause and a fucking fact.
Because there's already an F in effect. So it's a
'Cause I
natural
said
place
it.
to put it.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's
Great
the
job.
place to be if you're a fucking... Okay, continue.
Okay, so it just says with, I don't know, cider with maple syrup and dried chilies. So it's like sweet and spicy.
Nice. I thought it looked kind of Thai-ish.
Mhm. Yeah, there's like, it's got on the label, it's got a lion, and then it's got a scepter with a maple leaf on it.
Wow.
And it's got a little maple leaf on its crown, but on the ground around it are all the chilies.
Where are they
Nice.
based out of?
Somerville, Massachusetts.
Surprise. That's a curveball. I expected international.
Surprise. But no, she's mentioned Bantam several times.
Yeah, Ben.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm.
She's had a Bantam cider like every freaking week.
Every freaking week,
Whoa,
Rojo's
shit.
Bantam.
Rojo is red.
Rojo's red, and it's also Bantam.
Bantam
Oh,
always...
but Rojo's
invokes the-
red.
Yeah, Rojo is red. Bantam always makes me think of Gotham for some reason.
It
Anybody
makes me
else?
think of sick beats. Bantam.
60.
6 beats.
6 beats. Exactly 6.
That's a really short song.
Okay, so that's what I'm drinking. I have a Bantam. I also have some flat Soda Stream water because we ran out of the nice bubbly.
So that's just
Yeah.
water then.
Yeah, it's just water in a
There's nothing
Soda
soda
Stream
stream
bottle.
about it.
And nice bubbly stuff is the CO2.
Yes.
All right,
yeah.
cool.
All right, glad we
We
deciphered
speak your
that.
language.
It has been through the Soda Stream, but it
It
didn't
just
do
blew air
anything.
into it.
Yeah, basically. So
I flat water because
fine.
the Soda Stream is out of the nice bubbly.
yeah. Remember Fuzzy Nice Make Feel Good? Or
Fuzzy
Fuzzy
Good
Good Make Feel Nice? Yeah.
What's that from?
Black Books.
It's from Black Books. That's what he calls
Alka-Seltzer.
yeah.
Fuzzy Good Make Feel Nice.
It's so good. And he just eats them straight
Yeah.
up in his mouth.
Just puts them on his tongue.
Not fuzzy. Fizzy.
Fizzy, yeah, not fuzzy.
Fizzy.
Fuzzy doesn't make any sense.
Fuzzy doesn't make any
Dumb
sense unless
asshole.
you dropped him on the ground first.
Fucking horse.
Fucking horse. Unless you're a horse and your fuzzy horse face.
You long-faced dumbass.
Like, none of that. No one's gonna have any of the context for any
They
of these
just need to
jokes.
wait
Good.
until the end. The payoff will be at the very end. Just hang in there, listener. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be funny. Just laugh like you fake it till you make it kind of deal. Like, laugh until it's funny.
I mean, I think even without the context, just hearing three people constantly dunk on horses is funny.
Yeah.
I think the McElroy brothers have proven that. Aaron, what are you drinking?
Okay. I'm drinking a quart of iced water.
Iced water.
Mm-hmm. And I have a special drink. It's a Barrett's ginger beer.
Nice.
Yay!
It's delicious, and it has a really fun ingredient that I've never seen before.
What is it?
Neutral cloud.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
It means a cloud that is neither positive nor negative.
Or acidic nor basic.
Mm-hmm. It's just neutral.
Neutral cloud?
It's a cloud, and it's just neutral, and they put it right in there.
There's a post on Reddit about this. This ginger beer has an ingredient called neutral cloud. The product is used to create opacity in citrus drinks such as lemonade. So it's literally made to be
A cloud.
A neutral cloud.
cool.
Yeah.
You're drinking a cloud
I'm drinking a freaking cloud.
with ginger on it.
It's very delicious. It's a little too sweet, but it's a nice little treat.
A nice little sweet treat.
And a nice little sweet treat for Aaron.
Fran.
For Aaron.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow.
Ben,
Wow.
what are you drinking? What are you burping?
Gingy ale. That's why I'm burping.
Gingy. I knew I had to get a gingy because you were going to have a gingy and then I'd want a
Yeah,
gingy.
I also got a nice full cup of ice and water.
Excellent.
Just flat water.
Just flat water. Just flat water.
All right. If you
Just
say
straight
so.
up water.
Flat variety water.
Flat.
No fizzy bubbly make nice.
Water.
I want to give a shout out to a listener who reached out to us today.
What's up, listener?
On this, the day of our recording.
On this, the day of our recording. Did they even know? Mary, did you know?
I think her name is Ashley.
Ashley, did you know?
Whatever.
Her Twitter name is WeatherMiss13, like weather, like WEATHER. And, she's also a streamer of mostly, not a streamer, what do you call it when she plays and then she puts them on YouTube afterwards?
A Let's Player?
Yeah, she's a Let's Player of mostly Minecraft.
Wait, what does Let's Play mean? You just video yourself and then upload it afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it called Let's Play?
I don't know. It just is.
Okay.
It's like,
Why are
let's
horses called horses?
let's watch me play this. It's just too long.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Or let's watch me play this later after I've already played it.
Yeah.
So Ashley reached out because she was trying to remember a quote from the show and she couldn't, and I was unfortunately able to remember the quote.
I'm very impressed, by the way.
Like, I hadn't thought much about it when Ben said it, but like the thing that happened was that you told us, Ben, that you say a particular thing sometimes when someone asks you what you want to do. And do you want to tell us again what that
Eat
was?
ass, pass gas, baby. Just the most disgusting thing I've ever said.
It's so gross. It's disgusting. No matter how you take it, it's disgusting.
Ooh, how you take it.
I will say it's going to enter back into my vernacular now, though.
Yeah, that's
So
a good one.
thanks
Thank
for
you for
that.
reminding us of that just gemity gem.
Mm-hmm.
Weather miss. So yes, and then when we were able to help her out with that, she did also say that she thought that was very funny. It made her laugh a bunch, so she wanted to remember it, and that she loves the show. And I think it might be a while before she hears this, because I think she's listening from near the start at least. But big shout out to Weather Miss. Thanks for listening.
Friggin' shout out.
Also a fan of So Dreamy. I appreciate her.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, she's cool.
Hell yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Another podcast on our network, So Dreamy. This is a podcast network now.
It's called Pod Friends. I heard you guys watch the video, or some of it at least. The video I recommended last week.
Yeah, some of it, most of it.
Wasn't it delightful?
It was great. She's a delight.
She's a delight, and I want to watch her show now, because did I tell you Molly and I are planning a trip to Italy for next year?
Oh, cool.
No.
Yeah, and another one, and so we want to watch that show.
Yeah, you should watch it.
So that's right, you honeymooned there, didn't
to
you?
get hype. We did. We honeymooned there.
Honeymoon.
We're going to go again, because we freaking want to.
Because you freaking want to.
I want to go to Paris, but now the Notre Dame is burned down.
So sad.
But apparently they got like most of the art out of it, and also they were rebuilding the spire anyway, so the like statue that's normally at the top of it was already taken down. So it
and
wasn't...
one of the rose windows survived.
Survived. What the hell? What was that?
I don't fucking know.
You're the only person in this group who hasn't lived in Massachusetts.
Survived.
It's kind of British.
I picked things up. Survived. So you can cut this out if you want, but like I got so emotional watching videos of that. And I was like, I've never been there. But I think it was because I just spent like the last week watching videos of like the place I knew on fire, and I just felt like really tapped into what it feels like to like watch something that you know be out like on fire, and there's something so like big and beautiful and part of your everyday landscape. I just like literally got like out of nowhere, like just like emotional crying watching people like, or watching videos of like people watching the Notre Dame burn. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy because it seems like it happened so quickly. And I was like at work, I was in a meeting when I very irresponsibly went onto Twitter just to see what was going on, and like was confronted with just like an entire feed full of like videos of Notre Dame, just like with flames coming out of the roof. It was really sad to see.
It was sad. Not as sad as I was, I'm sure. But
I mean,
I took a sick day. I went home and I just cried for hours.
Your Twitter.com, irresponsibly at work, made me think that I have to literally log out of Twitter.com on the browser and my phone, because I will absentmindedly just like have a brief second where I'm like not working and just automatically go to Twitter.com, and I'll just like see the log out page and I'm like, oh yeah, I can't be doing this while I'm working. Like I won't. It's like a tick. I'll just like type in Twitter.com all day, every day in my browser.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah, I know it. That's why those tweets are so funny.
Yeah, exactly. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Just log out, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's my ticket. It's the ticket, except it's mine.
Someone, a lot of people... That's my ticket.
That's mine.
That's my ticket. I'm not assuming that my experience is applicable to everyone. That's why I say that's my ticket. Instead of that's the ticket. I don't know what your ticket is.
That's so nice.
That's your ticket.
That's my ticket.
That's your ticket.
That's my
ticket.
ticket.
That ticket. God damn. I wish I had a link or a name. But one thing I saw that was interesting on social media about Notre Dame was a lot of people were like rushing to donate to restore it. And a lot of even like corporations, like I just saw a headline that Apple is planning to help rebuild Notre Dame. And also the company that made Assassin's Creed is also planning on donating a bunch of money to help
Ubisoft
rebuild it. Yeah. But
they're a French company.
Ah, well, that makes sense then. But there were also a couple of churches in black churches in the U.S. that were like burned down by people with explicitly negative intentions within the last couple of weeks as well. And so a lot of people were encouraging folks to donate to those instead or in addition to what they wanted to donate to Notre Dame, because the Catholic Church actually has a shit ton of money anyway. And it did help, like, as you know, as much as people sort of got flack for saying, for like having that take on the situation, it like really bumped up the fundraising numbers for those efforts as well. They were able to raise like $1 million.
Wow.
For those churches. Yeah.
Did you see that thing about the Assassin's Creed and how it could help rebuild Notre Dame?
Did I see what?
Oh, so Sarah sent me this link. So an artist for the Assassin's Creed video game spent 2 years modeling the inside and outside of Notre Dame, creating a virtual likeness that may help restore the cathedral now.
Oh, cool.
So here, I'll post that link.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do at all.
Oh, did you send us?
No.
It was a bad link.
You sent us porn?
I sent you all my porns. That's my ticket. Oh, that's my ticket.
Oh no, that's my ticket. So crazy. It was so crazy. It was just crazy to see it all.
It was
unfold.
crazy to see and emotional for some.
Some more than others.
Some more than others.
Okay. I don't have anything else for upfront stuff.
I PB'd the other day.
You did. Congratulations.
It was not by a lot, but
but it still counts.
Way to PB.
It was by like 30 seconds. I want a PB by more.
Any peanut butter is a peanut butter.
Oh, wait. Also, I want to share a funny thing, or it's funny to me that I've been doing recently, and I'm curious it'll be funny to you guys too.
Okay.
So in my lab, there are 2 other PhD students who are Chinese, and they'll sometimes just have like long conversations with each other in Chinese, like about like technical stuff, like about stuff we work on in the lab. And lately what I've been doing is like, if they're having a particularly long conversation, I'll just like chime in and be like, oh, good point. Like, halfway through. And
What do they think about it?
They were really confused the first 2 times I did it, and now they just laugh at me. And the first time I did it, the other PhD student who also doesn't speak Chinese in our lab like cracked up because we both just sometimes like sit there for like 20 minutes while they're just talking in Chinese.
Wow.
But yeah, that's been my fun thing to do at work lately.
I like it.
Like my favorite possible reaction to get at work is like a blank stare for like 3 full seconds, and then they laugh. Like, I think that's like a sign of a good delivery of a work joke.
Yeah, it's like uploading. Whoop, 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 bling. Yeah, I was kind of doing that today a little bit when my 2 coworkers were talking about soccer. They were like watching like the Champions League or whatever. And commenting to each other because they both are soccer people. I don't know. And I was like, oh, yeah, I always knew that he could do it. Or, oh, yeah, I've been finding the refs to be a little off this season. Or other things that didn't make sense. Like, I knew what I was talking about. Yours is funnier, but mine was okay.
They're both funny. Don't put yourself down like that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
It's also, as we're recording right now, it's Griffin McElroy's birthday, and it's also my friends Matt and Andrea's son Linus's birthday. And I believe also this other cool podcaster named Dan, whose last name I don't know. But he's the game master for Kids on Bikes podcast, I believe. TM, I believe. So, happy birthday to all those wonderful people.
I was trying to figure out how TM was an acronym for I believe.
But yeah, that's all I
picked
all I got.
now to play with his really loud toy.
That's
awesome.
Good. I love it.
There's no time like now.
Yeah, that's a good joke, Ben. I like it.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. He can play. Let him play.
Yeah, I moved my backpack so he could play.
Let him play. Let him live.
He's doing it. He's living.
Do you have those signs? The like "Let him work, let him live" signs. Either of you where you live?
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What?
Let him work. Let him live. I always say it out loud. They're like worker signs.
Yeah, like when there's like road work.
I've never seen that.
They say let him.
What the fuck?
Let him work. Let him live.
Mine sometimes say more than that. There's a bunch of billboards on my way to and from work that have, it's like a guy, it's like the back of a guy in a yellow like workman's vest and a hard hat, and facing the camera is a child, and he's like holding the kid, like he's hugging the kid, like, hey daddy, like that kind of thing. Yeah. I assume. And then it says something about like, hit the brakes, let him live, stuff like that.
Let him live. That's very so dramatic. Weird.
The phrasing is very odd there. Let them live.
I know.
Like, you are preventing them from living. Let them live. Not like take care. You know.
Be careful.
Be careful. They could die, but like. You let them live. It's just such weird phrasing. Like you're really literally about to kill them.
Yeah. Just let him live.
Just let him
Komo
live.
has now done my favorite thing that he does. Can you see it?
Turn into a horse.
He's in that backpack.
He's fully inside your backpack.
He's fully inside it.
You went inside your backpack.
Don't accidentally bring your cat to work. It's cold and dry in that lab, and that's the place for a cat.
Should we get into it?
Let's do it.
I have something exciting to offer you guys.
I'm so exciting about it.
What's exciting is I'm offering you a choice. I just spit so much.
Is that my choice? That's the first choice. What's the second choice?
Okay. The second choice is...
It's like a choose your own adventure.
Yes. Do you want to... Okay. If you want to hear about a politician, flip to page 5. If you want to hear about a podcast, flip to page 21.
Politician.
20. Oh, I said 21.
See, but the reason I said politician is because I feel like I haven't heard Hannah bring a politician before.
That's true.
So I feel like it'd be new.
Okay.
That's just
Are you worried because you think you know who I'm going to talk about, Aaron?
Yeah. I just want a woman to be president. It's just like I really like strongly like 100% just what I really want.
Okay, well I'm not coming here today to endorse. I'm not coming here today to endorse anybody.
Oh, okay.
I'm coming to tell you my honest truth of this week, which is that I, like apparently a lot of other Democrats, have been spending a lot of time learning about Pete Buttigieg, the mayor of South Bend, Indiana.
Okay, I want to hear about that now because I also never knew how to pronounce his last name, so I'm already learning.
Okay. All right.
Can I say a fun fact real quick? That our producer Ian was trying to say his name and he said Pete Buttigieg.
When?
It was in Savannah.
I think I heard someone on like CNN or something say Buttigieg.
Buttigieg.
But he gay.
So the way that I became aware of Pete Buttigieg was quite a few months ago when they were electing a new DNC chair. He was running for that, and he was the DNC Democratic National Committee, and the podcast Pod Save America. Obviously, like for anybody listening to this that doesn't know, like I'm like a total bleeding heart, like rabid liberal human being. So I listened to Pod Save America, and they had everybody who was running for DNC chair on the podcast to do an interview. And when they interviewed him, I was just really impressed with him. So I followed him on Twitter at that time. And then lately, he's kind of come back on my radar again because of his husband, who is like just a total joy on Twitter. He's just very funny and good. He's like, you know, the one that tweeted about how Pete is a Hufflepuff, and he's also a Hufflepuff, and his name is Chasten, and it's like, it is a little bit like their whole vibe is a little bit like waspy and privileged, and I have some issues with that, but also like they seem like they're very in love. They're like newlyweds. They've only been married for a year, and you know, I don't know. It's just like both of them, Pete and Chasten, both remind me of a lot of my friends in college. And like, I think it is like whatever happens with him. And he's like really the first candidate that's running this. There's so many of them, and there's so much time left until the primaries even start. So like, he's just sort of my starting point at this point. But Ian kind of got interested in him for reasons that I'm not really sure what like piqued his interest, but he has been listening to his audiobook, and he's been just kind of like, we've been kind of like perusing all of the interviews that he's done recently. I think a big part of why he's like really kind of on everybody's mind right now is that he's like just saying yes to everything. Like anybody that wants to interview him, he's just like, yeah, I'll do it. Which I was reading an article that said that he's kind of taking a page from Trump's playbook in that way, that like it doesn't, that like actually can be something that helps you rather than hurts you. I think that remains to be seen whether that's true for everyone, or whether like Trump is kind of like a special case in that way. You know, who knows what's going to happen with him. He's still like a super long shot. And like I said, I haven't done a deep dive into a lot of other people. Like, I do feel like I know a lot about Elizabeth Warren already. Like, I personally get bored listening to her because I've already heard a lot from her as someone who is like, she's one of my senators. So like, yeah,
she's a very,
I know what
very
she's
good
about.
senator.
Yeah, she is. Like, I have no problem with her at all. I just like, I haven't been like craving like hearing her positions on everything in the same way that I have from this new person who's just entered the scene. So like, some interesting things that have kind of been drawing me to him. Obviously, he's openly gay. He's like the first openly gay man to run for president, I think. That's cool. Not for
I think he's the first openly gay Democrat.
Openly gay Democrat. There was
I think there was like a Republican in like the 80s or something who was openly gay and ran for president. I might be wrong about that.
Wow, that's rough.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's Chaz Buttigieg? Is that his?
Chasten.
Chasten. That's his handle.
Is it?
It's
maybe he goes by
it's
Chaz.
Chaz 10.
Yeah.
Chaz. Buttigieg.
I think the campaign they're running is really good and interesting, and I think a lot of that owes to sort of his whole like being a millennial and having those types of people on his team thing. Like I think the thing that really, actually thinking about it, the thing that caught Ian's interest about him was that when, you know, everybody who interviews a Democratic candidate for president right now, one of their first questions is like, what's your day one policy? And when people ask Pete Buttigieg that question, he will always say that his day one policies would center around like fixing the issues with our small d democratic system, like campaign finance reform and election reform and getting like voting rights back on the right track and like gerrymandering and all that kind of stuff. His point being that there are a lot of other types of policies that he cares about that are really important to get done during a presidency, and none of them will be able to get done properly in like a broken system. And another thing I really like about him is that he's like very big picture forward thinking. And I think he's correctly identified this as a really important phase in our sort of American history and political history specifically, where we were in a stable era for a long time and we've hit this time of chaos, and what happens in the next like 4 or 5 years is going to really impact like how what the next era forms up to be. And so when he talks about the types of policies that he wants to enact, it's always with this like with his eyes like looking into the like far into the future.
He's also floated the idea of reforming the Supreme Court to not have lifetime appointments and to maybe have more than 9 members, which I'm very excited about that idea.
Yeah,
because I think lifetime appointments are fucking stupid.
Yeah, one thing he's brought up a bunch of times, which I thought is really interesting, and it wasn't his idea like originally, is a 15-member Supreme Court, and 5 of the members would be Democratic, like elected by Democrats or selected by Democrats. 5 would be selected by Republicans, and the other 5 could only be like inducted into the Supreme Court if the other 10 all unanimously agreed. So they would be like, they would by necessity be like more bipartisan, sort of agreeably, like apolitical or yeah. So I thought that's a really cool, idea. I've seen him do like town hall style things and answer a lot of different types of people's questions. And he definitely does have like his stump speech lines. Like I've heard a lot of the same things over and over again, as you will from any of these candidates. But, he also like will consistently bring it back around to the specifics of the question he was just asked and complete his answer. He doesn't like to just like find a way to, some people
they just always veer it back to the talking
point.
Point.
They'll deflect, then veer back around to what they wanted to talk about and just make it about that and not loop back. And he'll always like take the extra step of like, but you asked specifically about this and here's what I think about this and da-da-da.
Nice.
Yeah. I think he's interesting. I've been just like, the show's about what we're obsessed with. And I've been searching for more of his appearances so that I can hear more of his thoughts on things. Also, like I've been seeking out settings that he's talked in that are like less typical, like not like CNN appearances, but more like he was on like a morning radio show in like New York City, and he was talking with like, it's called like The Breakfast Club. It's on YouTube, and he was talking with like a black guy at a hip hop radio station and like a DJ guy and an Asian woman, and like very much kind of, even the setup was kind of awkward because it was on video and they were like both sitting on opposite sides of him, so you had to like constantly be like completely swiveling his head from one side to the other, and they were asking him like really direct questions about like, what's your policy for African American people? What's your policy for equal pay in the workplace and all this stuff? And he was giving really thoughtful answers and clearly likes to get challenging questions. Like I said, I'm not endorsing anyone. I agree with you. What I wanted was a woman candidate and a woman president, and I'm still 100% open to that. And I do like his husband, and whatever else happens, at least now I follow them both on Twitter. So
we'll always have that no matter what.
I really like him too, but I do think it's going to take a lot for me not to vote for Elizabeth Warren. Like I need to be very impressed just because I already know her so well and know that she like she's been consistent and been fighting for a progressive agenda from the instant she was in the Senate, like, and for basically her whole career, like, always has been pushing for the same progressive policies and is obviously very, very intelligent and well thought out on policy, which I like.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the debates. I hope that.
Yeah, me too.
I hope that they're both there.
Oh, it's a nice obsession.
Thank you.
I'm going to follow them both on Twitter now. Well, I might just follow Chaz. I don't know.
It's not his name.
Chaz. Well, that's like my first impression of his name, so...
He's fun. He's done some speeches and appearances, too. He did. He was in Austin recently and gave a speech to the Human Rights campaign, HRC, Human Rights Committee.
Hillary Rodham Clinton.
And yeah, he's a teacher and has a nice, touching story about why he's a teacher.
It's pretty impressive that you can already have a gay name, like, from the get-go.
Chaston.
I mean, gay.
Yeah, they're just sweet. I loved seeing them, like, kiss and hug at his announcement.
That's so nice.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
It was lovely.
That's dope.
If nothing else, it's amazing that it's great that there's an openly LGBTQ person, like, being, you know, who is in the running for a major party.
It's
a gazing. And, like, I also want a woman president, but if we are going to have a white dude, at least let it be a gay one, you know?
Yeah.
It's, like, kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But let's get a woman. Like, really.
Yeah, for real.
We've literally never had one.
We've never.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I mean, there is a car flying around in space, and we don't have a fucking woman president in our history books.
I feel like he's brought up being a mayor as if it's, like, in contrast to other candidates' executive experience, when there are several other candidates who have been mayors also. Like, Cory Booker was the mayor of Newark, and I think Bernie Sanders was the mayor of Burlington or something in Vermont.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, yeah. I mean, I think I like Pete Buttigieg, but I think he's, like, someone I could see myself voting for in the next election. You know?
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm not endorsing anyone.
It's not an endorsement.
I know.
I'm seeing a video of him on the Ellen show, and I have to say Ellen's new haircut looks pretty gay.
Ellen did actually bring up the thing about how, what do you say to people who really want a woman in as the next president? And he was saying how, like, he was also extremely disappointed that it was not, that a woman was not elected last time, and that he also said a bunch of stuff that you'll see if you watch the video about how like gender equality and diversity in general would be, like, a very important priority to him. Like, she asked about a running mate, and he said it would be, like, extremely presumptuous to be ruling people in or out at this point, which is very true, but that, like, totally he would have a woman as a running mate. I know that's not the same thing, you know, but he just seems like a decent dude.
Yeah.
I just find him interesting. Whatever comes next for him, it's probably not the presidency, but I'm going to have my eye on him.
She's got her eye on you, Pete Buttigieg.
That's it.
Cool.
Aaron's next.
I am next. I've got a super small one. I've been mostly preparing for the Monty Graham Slam, which is tomorrow. So most of my energies have been focusing on getting my story together, which it mostly is.
I got a question about that.
What's up?
Is that going to be, like, up pretty quickly after it happens online, or
I don't know if it will be up
ever?
Yeah, it might. There's no guarantee that it'll be up. Did you both collectively guess?
Yes.
Yeah. No guarantees in life, baby.
Well, can you have Molly record it, or can you perform it for us?
Yeah, maybe the latter. I'm not going to have her record it. 2 reasons. 1, I don't even think it's allowed by the venue. Main reason, she hasn't heard it. I want her to be fully present and enjoy it.
Oh.
So yeah, so I've been working on that. So I haven't really been doing too much. Well, my obsession has been, like, ignoring the fact that the story slam has been coming up and I needed to prepare a story, and then just starting yesterday really, and today preparing in earnest. So it's going well. That's, that's my usual gig. I'm not like Ben, who would have like already had this done in advance and would get an A on it. It's, it's my ticket, it's my ticket.
Yeah, it's your ticket.
And, so anyway, but as I've been like, procrastinating, I have a small obsession that came out of that, which, is like a YouTube genre, I guess, a YouTube video genre. Which is like the behind the scenes of like really big productions. So one that kind of kicked off was, there are some that the New York Times does, like behind the scenes at the Met, scenes, the Metropolitan Opera House. What happens just before showtime at the Met Opera. That's a really fun video that has a lot of like really fun little details in it. And there was another one that I really liked, or a couple more that I really liked, of like Inside Broadway, Secret Laboratory, Hamilton Frozen, and so much more. And also like, so that's like basically the Broadway rehearsal building. And it just kind of is like this whirlwind tour that kind of takes you through like the different areas of these like, I think it's so interesting because these like huge productions, and if you even go see a production like that, you'll see like a tenth of the work that has, a tenth of the people who have gone into making it a reality, and just like, where do people who work in Broadway rehearse? Like, what does their day-to-day workspace look like? And another one I really like is there's a whole playlist on the SNL YouTube channel of creating Saturday Night Live, and it is deep dives into different parts of the show. Like, they have the makeup, people, the cue cards, the crane camera, wardrobe, like sound effects, makeup artists, which I might have already said, like the band, the control room. It's basically like, what else happens but other than the skits you see? How does like this crazy show come to life every week? Who are the people like behind making this thing a reality? And I just think it's really interesting because it's like, it is such like Saturday Night Live is like a huge event, and I find it to be like really funny. I love watching all the videos from it, and it's impressive that week after week, year after year, it gets, they just pull it off so, elegantly. But it's interesting to see all the work and all the little details that go into making it happen. So yeah, these have been, and they're nice little video nuggets. They're like, a few minutes long each. So
digestible.
Anyway, digestible nuggets of videos.
This is really cool. It's
Yum.
giving me, I'm watching the Met one. It's giving me nostalgia. So this is actually like something I used to really love about working or going to our dad's like conferences for work. He would like, part of what he does for work is like he helps throw these like huge like corporate conferences for various types of companies.
Wow.
And since I was little, including like Ben, you were an intern too, but like when we were in college, he actually had like each of us as interns at certain points. So I've worked them before, and then I've also like visited my dad while he was working them and been like backstage or like in like the staff corridors of like fancy hotels and stuff. And it's like always just so interesting and like exciting and like fun to see like what's back there.
Yeah.
A lot goes into it.
Doing back there. Yeah.
That's cool.
There's a show that I was hoping was going to be like this on Netflix. I think it's called like 5 Days Out or 7 Days Out or something.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be like this sort of thing. Like, okay, you're 7 days from a huge event. What's happening? And it's like a documentary. Each episode is a different event. But I was a little disappointed with like some of them. Like the dog show one was just like, it wasn't about prepping for the dog show, like the logistics of prepping for the dog show. That would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting.
Just about the dogs.
There's a great documentary about that called Best in Show. You should check that out.
Yeah, it was like Best in Show, but not funny.
Aaron, you look so contented with your own joke there.
I love that movie.
Yeah. These are cool.
Yeah, and the Opera House one has like really fun music, and it's just nice. It's nice.
It's nice. Can you send me a link to the other ones?
Yeah.
I found this one by myself.
There you go.
Those are nice.
Here's that Creating Saturday Night Live playlist.
Thank you. That's a lot of work, too.
Yeah.
So many jorbs.
A lot of jorbs.
So much makeup.
Yep. Wardrobes and just the whole thing.
Is it the writing process or just the production?
I'm trying to see.
That's not where I meant to drop that link.
Oh, that's the same link.
It's the same link. Just send your link back to you. If you let a link go, it'll come back to you.
I think there's some stuff about the writing, and one I watched earlier about Creating Saturday Night Live new HBO shows, they talked a little bit about the writing process and about, like, you know, they have to go over everything with the host of that week. So, yeah, and there's some about, like, specific episodes or specific, like, you know, the shorts that they do about how those got created. It's just fun. It's just nice.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just neat.
I like behind the scenes stuff. I like seeing how the sausage is made.
Yeah. Okay. I do too. I just have... Okay, so I posted the link in the Slack. And then Hannah, for reasons unknown, posted it again 1 minute after me. And then Ben just also posted it, so that's good. We have that link now thrice.
Posted it.
Oh my friggin' god.
And at the top he was like, have you guys seen this? Like a real asshole.
Like a real horse's asshole.
You fucking horse.
Ben, why don't you go eat a carrot, you fucking horse?
Oh man, I've been a real horse today, huh?
Yeah.
Fucking like a fucking horsehair.
Wow.
Those are cool. I'm gonna watch those. I'm gonna watch the SNL ones.
They're gonna be nice.
I want to see the behind the scenes video and how they made those behind the scenes videos.
Yeah.
It's a Russian doll of behind the scenes videos.
That's amazing.
Aaron sent the link again.
And said, Ben, here's that link. Oh man.
We should take it. Yeah, we're just good at this. We're doing good. This is good. This is good comedy, I think.
Funny.
Great audio content.
Is this funny? This is our new segment. Is this funny?
Is this music?
There's a new but yeah, finally this week, and it's called Imagine There Was a Joke. And that's how it starts. Like Eamon it does this like drastic setup for imagine this whole scenario where there could be this joke. Imagine there was a joke.
I like that.
Yeah.
For some reason that reminded me of this like unbelievably savage thing I overheard in the restroom today. Can I tell you guys about it?
Please tell me it's horse related.
I wish. I only wish. Here's what happened. I feel like, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I don't know how it couldn't have been. So, one person said to the other person, no.
That's it. She just went, ho!
I was like, savage. She said, hello. No, she said...
What did she say?
She said, oh, you look nice today. Everyone looks so nice today. And the other person said, yeah, didn't you get the memo? And here's the thing. I think there was a literal memo about, like, there were, like, special people in the office today or whatever. But, so I think there was an actual memo. But, it was just, I was like, oh my god, that's so savage. And she wasn't like, oh my god, I didn't mean it like that. She was just like, yeah, didn't you get the memo? Like, boom, nothing. Like, stone cold, like a fucking, like a horse would say to you. Just like, no affect.
Fucking stone cold horse face.
Not a whinny, not a nothing. Just nothing after that. God.
Wow. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty great.
It was pretty incredible. I was like, I'm gonna stay in here until this air clears. You know what I mean? Not because of the, poops.
But also that.
Yeah, it's also that.
Wow. Awesome. Good obsession, Aaron.
Thanks. Oh man, Ben hasn't even gone. Holy moly.
Nope.
Holy moly. What's up, Ben?
I think that I'll do mine choose your own adventure style also.
Wow.
Because I don't really have anything I've been like super obsessed with this week. I've had a very busy week. So I'm going to give you, I think, 3 choices.
Wow.
Okay.
The first choice is a television program.
Okay.
Which I don't think I've ever brought it before, but maybe I have. I don't think I have. The second is wow, I don't know how to encapsulate this.
Wow.
It's a baseball related thing, but it's related to worker exploitation.
Oh, okay.
And then the third one is something that I'm possibly planning on becoming a fan / obsessed of in the future.
Oh.
So it's an interesting set of things.
Hannah, should we confer privately?
Okay.
What do you want to do?
I've seen Ben tweeting about the baseball thing, and I've been curious, but
okay.
I
think he can hear you. Should whisper.
Oh, okay.
I'll step away.
He's just leaning back from his
microphone. But then also the TV show could be good. I think you should save the future thing for the future.
Yeah, it's a future thing for the future. Do you want to hear about the baseball thing?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Ben, we made our decision.
Okay, what have you decided? I wasn't here, so I don't know.
We have decided on the baseball thing.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about something called service time manipulation.
Okay.
So basically...
is this an electrical engineering thing?
No, it's a baseball thing.
Oh, right, okay. All right. I didn't know if that was like, baseball was like an engineering thing. Cool.
So basically, it's a way for organizations to retain their young players for longer than they should be allowed to. And how it goes is that under the current agreement between the Baseball Players Association, which is the union that all the players are a part of, and the MLB, a player is not, this is my understanding of how it works, and I don't know all the numbers for it, but a player is not eligible to be a free agent until they've had, I believe it's 6 years of service time on a major league roster. And service time is defined as like being on the active roster for I believe it's like 172 days or something. And the total MLB season is about 185 days. So, and if you get added like 1 day after that cutoff and on the active roster for 171 days, it won't have been considered a year of service time, and you still need another year of playtime to be eligible for free agency.
Oh my my God.
And what's funny is that you can be rookie of the year in your first season of playing, like, I think it's like 65 games. So you can be the rookie of the year, but not technically have fulfilled a year of service time. And so what this has become is teams will draft really good young players, and then they will come up with some bullshit excuse to have them. And normally when a player gets drafted, they play in the minor leagues for like a couple of years before they're called up. So they're like, that's typical. But then they'll come up with these bullshit excuses when these players are ready to be in the MLB to have them play in the minors for like the first 2 weeks of the season. And usually it's something like he needs to like work on shoring up his defense, or, you know, some dumb shit. And then like the day after that cutoff, they'll call them up to the majors. And in doing so, they'll have retained... Oh, did you guys go away?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you froze. So in doing so...
We're frozen in rapture of your story.
They retain control of that player's contract for another year, because that player can't become a free agent. Yeah, it's stupid as fuck. And Rhea Butcher talks about it a lot on Three Swings, how it's just like straight up these giant companies exploiting their workers, who are these players. And that's actually something that Rhea Butcher talks about a lot on Three Swings. That's kind of reframed how I think about sports teams and players and salaries. Is like the context is always important. And so when people are always talking about like how players shouldn't complain because, like, you know, they're getting paid millions of dollars anyway, like, and this is a thing that's been happening in, it's kind of an unrelated thing, but like free agency has become a lot more difficult for players now. Like it's taking longer to get signed by a team. Teams are less willing to sign players for a long period of time, especially as they get older. So people are becoming free agents a lot more, and really good players are sometimes not getting signed. Like Craig Kimbrell, who was the Red Sox closer last season, became a free agent, and he still hasn't been signed by anyone because apparently his asking price is too high. Which, you know, a lot of sports fans will say that's Craig Kimbrell's fault for asking for too much money. But as Rhea Butcher often brings up, the context is really important when the people who are potentially paying them are like making literal billions of dollars off of these players. Yeah. Like the scale here, it's the same as like fucking people, like companies where they're paying their CEO like hundreds of millions of dollars and then not paying their workers a good enough salary. It's not the exact same, but it's like, you know, the scale is important. Yeah. The context is really important.
Oh, speaking of which, your senator has been like kicking ass with that. Have you been paying any attention to that? Or your representative?
Oh, Katie Porter. Yeah, she's been great. Yeah. She's killing it.
Yeah, she's killing it out there.
Nice.
Yeah, she's pretty
Shout
great.
out to Katie Porter.
She's an Elizabeth Warren protege.
Avid listener of Way Too Broad. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Big shout out to Katie Porter. Thanks for listening.
Long-time listener. She emails us and then tells us not to read it on pod, but
yeah, she's
sorry to embarrass you,
for
Katie.
Like 5 years. So
longer than we've been doing it. Even.
It's amazing.
We've been friends for 2 decades.
Ooh. Wow, we go way back.
Oh, you've only been friends for 2 decades? We've been friends for 200 years, me.
Porter power.
That's what I always say. That's my nickname for her.
Want to see her when she comes over for the old barbecue in Porter. We call it Pigs and Porter. Katie Porter.
Porter power.
Porter power.
Oh.
So anyway.
But, I mean, I don't really have much more to say about it. It's just something that I hadn't... It's been going on for a while. There's a really famous case of it with the Cubs and their third baseman, Chris Bryant. The White Sox were recently doing it with their prospect, Eloy Jimenez. There's just like cases of it everywhere. And it's really demoralizing. That's the other part of it for these players, because like ostensibly they're being told like you're not good enough to play with the team on opening day, you know, and like they're spending the off season, you know, training and doing everything in their power to be good enough to be on the opening day roster. Because that's like a big deal for someone, like for a young guy to make the opening day roster. That's like really exciting. And they're not being allowed to because the team wants to retain control of them for longer. And it's just fucked up.
It's so fucked up.
So a lot of people, I think that the new like Players Association agreement is going to be negotiated, I think, in like 2020 or 2021. And this kind of thing is definitely going to be discussed. Hopefully fixed then, because it's fucked. That's really all I have to say about it. It's fucked.
When you're a free agent, that means, is that kind of like you're an at-will renter almost? Like you have a contract with them, and then the contract ends, and then you're off the team and you're a free agent.
Yeah.
But that's also your opportunity to
shop around to other teams.
Make more money or go to the place you've always wanted to be, or
exactly.
get closer to home, stuff like that. Yeah.
Like the two big free agents this last year were Bryce Harper and Manny Machado. And they it's actually really funny. Manny Machado signed his deal, and it was like the highest baseball contract ever. And then Bryce Harper signed his deal a couple weeks later, and then it was the highest baseball contract ever. It beat Manny Machado's. And then a few days later, Mike Trout, who's not a free agent, but he's also the best baseball player of our time, was signed by the Angels to a contract extension for like 13 years or something, and it was the largest professional sports contract ever. Wow. So they broke each other's records in like the space of a couple weeks. It was pretty wild.
Wow.
But that kind of deal, like that's becoming more common with some players too, is like agreeing to contract extensions with the team they're currently on rather than risking going into free agency, because free agency is becoming so kind of like volatile to it's just becoming harder unless you're like the huge, amazing superstar, like huge names like Bryce Harper and Manny Machado, to get on a team with a reasonable salary. Some people think that the teams are like colluding to keep the prices that they pay their players down. I don't necessarily think that's true, but maybe it is.
So you think that part of the reason that being a free agent has become so volatile is because teams have been doing this service time manipulation, so they don't have as many like openings in any given year to pick up free agents?
No, I don't necessarily think the two are directly related. It's just like another fucked up thing that is happening in the MLB. Is this kind of the state of free agency? And it's honestly, I think that one is just less of a like fucked up employee manipulation thing, and more of a statistics driven thing, because typically, like, I think teams are a lot less willing than they used to be to sign players in like their late 20s to any sort of long contract, because statistically they get a lot worse like when you turn 30 basically. So you see a lot of like 1-year contracts nowadays, which you didn't really before, especially for players who are like 30 or older.
Wow. I'm past my baseball prime. I didn't even know it.
I know. I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
There are like players. There are players in the MLB right now who were born in the year 2000. I think there's like one.
Fuck.
Isn't that wild?
Yes.
In the year 2000.
In the distant
I hope
future.
that when you're a free agent, are you still part of that union you mentioned?
Yeah.
Well, I hope they do good negotiating then.
Yeah.
Me too.
All right. Should we do homework, though?
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Can I just tell you a quick silly thing that I just read something wrong and it was funny to me?
Please do.
I'm on Mike Trout's face. I'm not on his face. Oh my fucking god. I'm on his Wikipedia page. And I'm like really tired, and I just read a couple of things on this page together, even though they're not oriented on the page together. And here's what I read in this exact, like, in my head. In February 2014, President Barack Obama used trout as an analogy for the 2014 U.S. Farm Bill. To emphasize versatility and utility of the bill, Obama remarked that it was like Mike Trout, for those of you who know baseball, somebody who's got a lot of tools. The couple married on December 9th, 2007.
Oh, it's amazing.
Those are both on this page, but they're not together, obviously. I just read them together in my head, and I was like, what? Oh.
Nice.
So they like each other.
They're married.
All right, let's do homework.
Let's, Hannah.
Yeah, you're first. What are you waiting for?
I was just waiting for some validation.
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
You friggin' horse.
All right, fine.
What do you call a horse who lives next door? Your freaking neighbor.
I'm gonna post a link to what I think is one of the more interesting interview videos that I watched of Pete Buttigieg for my homework, which is the one where he went on the morning radio show. I think they threw some challenging questions at him, and I think he handled them well. So I'd say check that out. Also, check out any of the primary candidates that might strike your fancy. Let's all educate ourselves in advance of the primaries, which are not until they don't start until next February. So we've got plenty of time. Check out our friend Elizabeth Warren. She's great too.
Our friend and yours, Elizabeth Warren.
Mm-hmm. My mother-in-law and my sister-in-law have met her.
Oh, cool.
Neat.
I think. I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Yeah. Komo. He's on the lap.
It's being nice.
Aaron, what's your homework? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I forgot all my social things.
Yeah, I sure did.
I'm at Anthropology on Twitter and Instagram. And I have another podcast called So Dreamy where we talk about dreams. And we take dream submissions. Komo is trying to get on the podcast right now or destroy it.
I was laughing at your laugh. We were talking about dreams.
Sometimes they're funny and they make you go like that. Sometimes.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. But, so check those things out. Aaron, what's your homework?
Okay. Am I good? No, okay.
Yeah.
My homework is check out some of these behind the scenes videos on YouTube. I especially like the Saturday Night Live ones. I'll post a link. There you go.
I'm glad we got another one out of that.
There you go. My Twitter is Aaron Byrne. I have a website. AaronByrne.com. Check it out.
Oh, yeah. Great job. Ben, what's your homework?
My homework is to kiss baby Komo on his head.
He's being so nice.
Only you can do that for us.
He's so nice.
He's snuggling.
My homework is, I guess, look up service time manipulation.
Or listen to Three Swings.
Or, yeah, listen to Three Swings. Well, no, they just kind of talk about it here and there throughout. There's not really an episode about it.
Are they still putting that podcast out regularly?
Yeah, baby, since the baseball season started. There's actually a new episode that came out today. I haven't listened yet.
Hell yeah.
I also have a Twitter, Nicely Proved Ben, and my Twitch is Disco Greg, twitch.tv/Disco Greg. I'm trying to get that sub 220 in Sapphire.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
You can do it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's it. Goodbye.
Okay.
End of show. Bye.
No, if you want to call us, tell us what you're obsessed with this week or what you think of our obsessions at 774-326-0420. Blaze it.
It's this Saturday.
Huh?
Hope you guys all had a good 420.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You call us, call us and tell us how your 420 was at 774-326-0420. Blaze it. And, you can also tweet at us at TooBroadPod on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram at WayTooBroad. Our email address is waytoobroad@gmail.com. And if you missed anything of the stuff we said, you just have to go to our website, WayTooBroad.com, for anything you want. It's www.earnben.com for anything you need. And if you had a good time with us today, oh my god, Komo's being so freaking cute right now. I'm losing my mind.
He's nice.
He's so nice. If you liked hearing us talk about things you can't see this entire time, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes or wherever you're listening, or wherever you want to. We loved any and all of the feedback. We appreciate you so much. We love you.
We love you.
And thanks for listening. And the podcast candle is now extinguished.
Well, have a good day.
Have a good life.
And here's now where we talk about fucking horses.
See you never, yeah. Enjoy the horse clip.
Enjoy the explanation.
The long-awaited horse clip.
I saw somewhere on Twitter recently that I guess like people tend to find females laughing annoying.
Oh my fucking god.
And that a lot of people I guess like cut out people laughing, but also women laughing on like their podcasts. And I've never even thought to do that in my entire 2 years of editing podcasts.
Oh my god.
So I'm very very sorry for not.
Wait, the editors find it annoying, or people tend to find it annoying so editors cut it out?
The latter.
That
Wow,
makes me
that's wild.
want to set my own house on fire.
We should release an episode that is just
why your house?
Just in a senseless act of violence against
we
myself.
should release an episode that is just me laughing.
Yeah, I was thinking
Like it's the audio track for the whole episode, like that length, but cut out everything except for when I laugh.
Yeah, or I was thinking how awkward it would be if it was our regular podcast with Hannah and I's laughter completely edited out. It would be so awkward.
I just don't understand. I know we have gotten isolated feedback before that, like from loved ones who said that they found laughing in general annoying, and I can understand that perspective, although I do not share it.
Yeah, they don't like joy. That's fine.
But it's like all the things that people don't, right? All the things that people don't, that I worry people wouldn't like about our podcast, I also, like, I can't imagine editing them out. Like, cutting down to be under an hour, I just can't imagine. I don't want to trim down our conversation to the top of the show. I love it.
Yeah,
I think
it's the best part.
Like, it's the best part. And like, then also the end part, some people probably like that part better, and that's great. And I want them to have both of those parts, and I want to have both those parts.
Yeah.
And I don't want to cut out any laughing or dumb jokes that I think are fun.
What would I say to those people if they were like, your podcast is too long? What do I say to them? You know what I say to them.
Your dumb face is too long, you fucker.
Yeah, it's too...
Fucking horse face. Just insult their looks.
Wow. Naysayer, am I right?
Your fucking face is too long. You
would say nay, you fucking horse face.
You fucking horse face naysayer.
I know you feel like you're having your heyday, but get out of my face. Get back to your stable. You fucking horse.
Your stable job.
That was amazing. It's not what I would say, but it's what I would say now.
What do you say?
What do I say? I say make your own fucking podcast is what I say.
Oh, yeah.
Listen
There you go.
Listen to the fucking, like, I don't know.
It's free, bitch.
Yeah, listen to NPR if that's what you want. Jesus.
Yeah, there's all kinds of podcasts in this world. You don't have to get locked in any of them.
Yeah, just go away. Go back to your fucking farm, you horse.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Okay,
no,
good.
no disrespect on horses, though. If there are any horses out there listening,
Listening.
Totally no disrespect. 100% respect.
Your face is supposed to be that long.
Yeah, and it's great. We celebrate that here on Way Too
You're
Broad.
beautiful
face.
animals.
Yeah, you're really just a gorgeous stallion.
You're hot. I want to fuck a horse.
Oh my god. This is all in the beginning. We have to keep this whole thing in. You have to, like, superimpose this into... I can't believe we haven't started the podcast yet. You have to keep all of this.
Maybe
just a long cold open this week.
Maybe I'll stick it on the end. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, you have to keep all of it.
Okay.
You should keep that drop of me saying I want to fuck a horse.
Yeah, that'll be the cold open.
Perfect.
Explain it till the end.
Love that.
I like that.
The listeners will be hung in suspense.
All right, let's go.